Good morning. This is the Remnant 2 report coming to you from here in Edmonton, Canada. It's the 8th of January already, a Thursday, 8 o'clock in the morning. And yesterday I tried making a little presentation, movie maker presentation. It took me all day to learn it. The program kept cutting out. I did manage to upload a comparison chart on the relocation platforms, and now what I want to do is show you what they can do just with that one technology that the Lord gave me back in 2007 in a dream. It allows for the advanced preparation and deployment to build these camps, not the FEMA camps but the other camps. I'm just going to zoom in. This is work that I've done a number of years ago. There you see my name. Mission, Monday. It was the 8th of August, 2011. I'm going to pull this in a little more. The bottom part didn't print out. So you have Goshen Communities at Gmail. I haven't used that. It's probably debunked. Refuge cabins. Okay. I do got refuge cabins on YouTube. I'm just going up here. This is a 16-acre isometric plot, or made out of geometry, using geometry, simple geometry. 16-acre micro center. Why I call it a micro center is that this fits into a larger format. So you get about 250 people here, but could fit into a format. We have seven such communities for about 1,500 people. So the diameter across, from left to right is, this is not right. I must have cut off a number. Anyway, the circumference is 2,892 feet. That's if you go all the way around it. And I think an acre is 208 feet. So what I want to do is I'm just going to back up a little bit. Okay, that center plot there, hexagon, that's 1 acre. And you can see the 6 other smaller communities around it. That's 6 more acres. That gives you 7 acres, okay? And you can see that little gray area there, that parking lot, that's 1/3 of an acre. And we go to the outside where that baseball diamond is. You kind of see 2/3 of an acre put together. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'll zoom in. You can see half an acre there. So that's how they're put together. And I'm going to have to teach you guys the basics on this, because once you understand it, then you can build these. But the biggest thing is being able to lay out your survey. You can't lay out your survey, you're going to have chaos. So we're going to zoom in. To about there. Because you always want to start your center community. And you can see this is your main entrance coming in there, right? It's not a baseball diamond. That would be growing food, flowers, herbs, things like that. And you're coming in on your road, one road going in. And you could have a perimeter road going around it, but it's not necessary. This could be set up in the middle of nowhere. And Roads are only needed for getting back and forth, and you're not going to really need them once you're set up. Okay, lots of area for the kids, but the beauty of this, that this is all portable. You could have this set up within 7 days, all these units, 1 day apiece, and you're functioning. So here you just got your shelters. I do have some auxiliary buildings already. I'm not sure whether these are, I might have designed these here as shops. You can see the orange in the middle with 3 hexagonal buildings around it. I think I did design this as a work community. But I'm going to try to give you a visual of the layout of the acreage. Each side is of the, instead of an acre being in a square, 208 feet square, the acres put into a hexagonal pattern. So that would make each side 120.5 feet. That gives you exactly 43,560 square feet. You're right on the money on this. So when you look at the side there, I'm gonna sit down and show you and enjoy my cup of coffee. I'm just gonna pull this in a little tighter. Oh, Billy, I'll say hello to you and say hello to Donnell there and Phyllis. Some of the people that I know. These will be used in the end times, or times are coming into in these next 7 years. The cities and the states are going to burn. They're going to go up and riot, and there's going to be power outages. The power is finally going to go out, and it's going to be chaos. And we're talking these next 7 years. It's going to get extremely difficult, not just in the States, but here in Canada and everywhere. Every major city is going to be affected. Okay, where's my pointer gone? All right. I'm just waking up here. This should work. Not in the picture. So if you go from it don't really make a good pointer, gets in the way. Just hang on a sec here. This should work. Okay, if you go from here right up to the center of that yellow dot, that is exactly 120.5 feet. If you go from this very corner to the center of your community hub, that's exactly 128 feet. And to multiply your for those of you out there that are good at using a calculator, if you want to figure, if you know this one distance here, just from this one distance of 120.5, you could figure out every other angle and every other measurement on this geometric layout. That's the beauty about using isometric concepts. I'm hoping that this is picking up. So if you got 120.5, is just do it on the calculator here. All right, calculator. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'll try to get into view here. All right, we got 120.5. Okay. We times it by itself, times 120.5. Then we multiply it by 3, times 3, 43,560.75. So that's very close. So as you see that each one of these camps, which the 7 family camps are set off into 1 acre. The actual housing are the red or the orange dots here. You can see that there's a little bit of a berm around each one. That allows for expansion, walking area or garden area or whatever. You don't want to get these too tight together. And so, for example, if your center would be, if your, whatever your center is, your outer dwellings would be 1 scale down. So if you have an H, I have to go to my, hang on, I have to go to my computer here, pictures. I'm just pulling up the diagrams of the floor systems I did yesterday. Okay. These communities can be made in like a small and medium and large format. So say, for example, that your community center here, these are all community centers, but say if your community center here is an H31, that means it's going to take 31 hexagonals to set up the floor base. This would have an area of 1,728 square feet in this one. So if this is an H31, your outer would be H19s. So your H19 is made out of 19 hexagonals with a floor area of 1,200 square feet. So this is your large model. So you would have 1,728 feet in the center and 1,200 foot homes all the way around. So that'd be about average. But for a place to live during the time of tribulation, this is going to be pretty sweet. And like I say, in one day, having the people, you could set all these up at in 1 day, 1 day per camp. So it takes 7 days to set up the whole unit. So if you're going to lay out the area, if you got your tripod in the center, you might have to have a little tower, because you have to be able to shoot your laser line of sight. But you have your center, you get your horizontal angle, and you shoot out your 6 corners. So this would be a 6 geometric grid, and from that it gives you the outer perimeter of your 1 acre, and then you would shoot the 6 corners of your H31, and that so you can actually start preparing the base to set up your platform. There is a little bit of preparation work, not much. It's very little imprint to the earth. Not that it's going to mean much in the time that we're coming, but the big thing is that you could set this up fast. And if you had to prepare the ground, you're looking at days to prepare the ground in order to set up your systems, and we're not going to have this. I think these temporary camps will be for a time in the season. There'll be places where when God brings in the young people in these end times, that they're going to have to be trained. So these will be training camps. Everyone will be living on site just like they do in universities. They have their own accommodation, all that, and the teachers live there. It'll be the same kind of scenario. And if we're all walking together in the light of the Lord, and if we're of one common mind, the unity of the Spirit, you're going to see that these places here will become an open heavens, and that's where your divine protection is going to come from. And the Lord gave me this concept back in 1988. He gave me the macro view. This is the micro view, or the micro center. That's why I call it the micro center. And I have to do a little more detailed work, as trying to get. Now I might have to draw this out. Maybe I could do a color presentation and show the exact layout on 1 acre in the housing. That'd probably be the easiest way than trying to explain it. And you can't really see the detail of the houses. But if, like an H31, that your centerpiece, that would have a diameter of 48 feet. That means it's 48 feet across. That means each side of the walls are 24 feet. And if you go from the center out to the corner, that would be 24 feet. And that means you're just, what did I say, 120 and a half feet. You'd have about 98 feet left before you come to the end of the corner of the property. And so these are made to be expandable. And so you have an H31 here, and geometrically I expanded that outwards to give a bigger footprint. Then I use the same footprint all the way around to establish the houses. And this is something, this will be a little bit of a learning curve for you guys. I'm going to have to draw all this out again. I do have it on the computer. I'm going to have to draw it out so you can actually see it, and using this camcorder is probably the best way to make this presentation at this time. And okay, I think so. You got this 1 acre here. This is where you would set up first, and then you would set up your outer buildings. You would start with this one, this one, this one. You always go in threes, and you set up this one, this one, this one, and this one. So you could actually have 3 crews setting up at the same time, and it'd take you a couple of days to set up these 3, and a couple more days to set up the other 3. So about, roughly about 7 days to set up. You can see that this is all worked out. You got your garden area here. The green is your garden area, green zone, and your yellow zone, this is your play area for the kids. So you can actually, the kids will be playing out here and you'll be able to watch them, right? Got 3 little play zones, and it'd be like, like a standard, enough room for them to play. And these here, like a sports area, you still need your rec areas. So these are probably a third of an acre or something like that. You got 3 of those, and the first one is like an entrance showpiece to come in. But to make this work, you only need one main access going in. That's all you need. You don't need any more of that. So if you come in, you stay on the right. There's a little bit of a traffic circle going around. You go up and you go around, then you come in. And so any traffic going in is not going to interfere with the traffic going out. Now when this is being built, you're going to have a lot of traffic, so you need some kind of guideline set up for your traffic. Even though that you don't have any roads established, you still, you need some guidelines for this. So when you actually do your survey, you can survey, once you got this surveyed out, and you can, another crew would go and start surveying out each one of these homes here. So you're probably looking at maybe, I don't know, under half of a day to plot out your center, and they would move on to plot out the rest. So they actually, these the surveyors would have a week to lay out everything. You have one crew, and all they do is just the survey work. You got one crew that comes in and does the prep work for the buildings, and then you got another crew that would come in that would actually start setting up the buildings. And so if you had all the buildings ready to go, you'll set up all your center buildings first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then you start setting up your dwellings. Because the center buildings is where you have to set up your your community center, so people can come in and they can eat, and they can wash, get cleaned up, and might be a lot of campers and all that available until you actually get your accommodations all set up. And around the whole property, I think this is, it's got the acreages here. You got 1, you got 6, you got 7. How does this work out? Okay, you got 7, and you got these little triangles. 1 is a third, a third, a third. That'd be 8. And you got a third, and a third. That gives you 9. So this part here, the actual living part, would be 9 acres. Then you'd have a 7-acre berm all the way around, and that gives your 16-acre plot. So you could actually take this, you could put it together into another format. You could have this joined to a binary. You can make this a trinary, where you got 3 of these joined together, or you could put these together into a full hexagonal format. And if you did that, you take your 16 acres. Okay, you take your 16 acres times 9, and you get 144 acres. I didn't work this out before, first time. 144 acres, that's what you're looking at, and like for a full macro camp. And that would give you, see if you got about 250 here, times 250 times 7. 250 times 7. 1,750 people. So probably with all your auxiliary, you know, you're going to have a bunch of time of emergency. You're going to, you know, you got lots of area to put up your tents as an overflow. You could actually use the commercial base or residential base platform to set up your tents. You could actually concrete in, where you could just, your tents was set up or whatever, or you could have 3 legs on your platform, and you could put these anywhere. And so you could actually design smaller tent systems for those that are coming in. So there's lots of room for overflow, probably overflow for, well, I don't know, 30, 40 tents. And so you might be pushing around 250, 300 people per 16-acre plot, and maybe a couple thousand people on the, you know, if you're going to a full community of 144 acres. Okay, there's a lot of detail. I've been doing this for, you know, for about 30 years, so to me it's all secondhand. I'm just getting up here. My dog's having a snooze. You're sleeping in there, Max. All right. So this is just to give you guys out there an idea of God's plan to preserve His people in the end days. It's not going to be over in 7 years. These next 7 years, we're going to see God's judgment unto correction. Now, through suffering, you know, people is going to learn righteousness, right? Well, we're all going to come together. We're going to be happy, and the sons of God are going to be rising up and walking. And there's going to be a company of people that are going to know their God and do exploits. And as these places go up, the cities are going to become very, very dark places, especially when the food goes, because we are going into a 7-year famine. When there's no food, it's going to get crazy in the cities. But this is a place that you can come where God will provide for you, food will be given away, and God will multiply it back. As simple as that. Now, the economy of the kingdom is giving. This is Joshua Taylor coming to you from here in Edmonton, Canada, on these Goshen Gold Generation communities. Okay, how do you turn this off?